Boom, hello, and welcome to the Protect Your Nation podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to making the world a better place, making the world a safer place by making good people dangerous. In this podcast, we're going to study and understand what it takes to protect your family, to protect your loved ones, because we all know that you have a few basic needs, food, water, and shelter, but you also have the need to protect those things in a world and society where evil runs rampant and is sometimes left unchecked. Learning how to protect yourselves and your loved ones is becoming more and more important. And so we strive to raise the level of accountability to those who would do evil on this planet by making sure that the sheep, that the flock, is more well-versed in protecting themselves and their loved ones. If that sounds interesting to you, then sit back and enjoy the show. Out.
Boom, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Protector Podcast. I'll probably put this on EPL as well. We all need this. We're going to have an awesome real-world conversation with an honored guest, Sergeant Michael Gomez. He is with an agency out here in Southern California. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Call me Mike, please.
Mike, outstanding.
All day long.
No, I love that. I mean, you're still a ground pounder, from what I heard, at heart, for sure, from what I heard with who was it who was training with you?
Bryce.
Bryce. And Bryce is another very formidable protector, in the kickboxing industry. He's an awesome guy, great heart. So, with this episode, I just want to dig in a little bit to with Mike's experiences. He was there for the Route 66 incident. He's out there in the field as a professional protector, as a law enforcement officer. There's a lot we can learn from this man. He's living the life. He's still out there training. He's, been in the industry for a long time, protecting people. So we've got a lot of good stuff in store. Just a little bit about your background so everyone knows who they are listening to. What's the background, where you come from?
All right. East Coast family, first generation American. So that old, the ethics of, man, I'm lucky to be here in the greatest country in the world that offers nothing but low-hanging fruit if you're willing to take it. So
you're willing to work for it.
Yeah, that's how background, formidable career Marine father, E9 as well, but strict but fair. So I had very good guidance. So the foundation was there. It was pretty easy. So we go from the East Coast to the West Coast, finish high school out here. In college, I go home one day to visit my family. My next door neighbor comes home, a kid I grew up with. And I go, hey, what's going on, man? And he goes, I just got back from Panama, jumping out of helicopters and killing communists. What are you doing, Mike? I go, man, I'm in college. And I'm not very, I'm playing sports in school, and then the next day I go, man, I need more. I need more for me.
Outstanding.
I go to the recruiter, man. I want to be like him. I go, look, I'm going to be an Army Ranger. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So I get the Army guys at lunch, and everybody has a story, but this is mine.
Right.
Out comes the Navy guy. Can I help you? I go, yeah, I'm waiting for the Army guy. He goes, well, you can wait in here, set the hook. And I bit. And the rest is, so I enlist in the Navy for 6 years on an engineering program. Go out and do that. Great time to be in the Navy. It's the 90s era during Ronald Reagan, and we're building ships and we're spending 9 months a year at sea.
Wow.
It's not horrible unless you're a single kid and you're traveling the world.
Right.
Very basics there. I get out, I get injured. I'm at Balboa getting surgery done, and I see a sign that says hiring police. And the same amount of effort I put in my military career, I looked at that and I go, well, shit, I can be a cop. How hard can it be?
That's how it starts.
Become a police officer, apply for this city in Southern California, very, very active, very violent city, but it's a good place to be a police officer. I applied, become an officer there. After about a year, I missed the military. I missed there's camaraderie when you're a protector wearing a badge, but there is, from my standpoint, there is nothing like the camaraderie of being in the military, because we don't go home together. And by that, I mean, hey, bye family in January, I'll see you in October.
Yep.
And so I missed it. I get back in the Navy. I joined. They go, and in that period, they go, hey, you're an engineer again. Fortunately enough, I meet some folks. I end up going to the Marines. Mount Mac instructor course, but always the student. I link up with the young corporal. I'm an E5 then, and we're coming in off of boats. And I go, hey, man, I know nothing. And the kid guides me.
Outstanding.
I was older than him, obviously, because I was already a police officer. And this young Marine took the time. It was before they had all the Gucci bags, Willie Pete bags. He gives me a Ziploc bag and some 100-mile-an-hour tape and says, hey, we're going to waterproof all your kit.
Heck yeah.
He took care of me.
This
right?
is the stuff.
For everyone that's Camp Pendleton, I'm out there at the Mount Mac, and I go to the instructor course, and then they somebody has to have the fire watch out there. You can figure the Marines were like, hey, these two sailors, they got weekend watch written all over them. So part of the game. I get in there, then the Navy never had a professional military police force. The Marine Corps has MPs, the Army has MPs, the Air Force, they call them security forces. The Navy, it was never, you would just be a TDY for non-military. It's temporary. You could be a guy that builds rockets, or you could be an EOD guy, or you could be a boat guy. Hey, all right, you're going to be a policeman for the next month or the next year. They call you master at arms. That wasn't a profession in the Navy. And during my period, they made it a NECMOS. They made it a job title for non-military. So then I get the tap and they go, hey, you're a police officer. Would you like to cross over? I go, absolutely. And then I crossed over into what the Navy calls master at arms. And then I get into the only West Coast master at arms unit run by a chippy sergeant. And he just goes around the state and he's looking in backgrounds. Okay, who's a shooter? Who's a breacher on the civilian side? So I get picked as a SWAT officer. And then 9/11 happens. And then we all get rolled up, thrown all over the world. And during that period, I do the Army's personal protection detail. I go to the Air Force's Phoenix Ravens Special Operations Course. Again, the Marine Corps Mount Mac, the Army's basic life-saving course. And in the end, I do just under 32 years, and I get out as a Master Chief in the Navy. So that's my naval career. After my first 5 years on a ship, I've never set foot on board a ship. The whole time I was land-based.
Wow.
Djibouti, El Salvador, Colombia, and last tour was Cairo, Egypt. Good times.
Wow. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And then you got into law enforcement right after that, I guess, again, huh?
Yeah. So
you didn't get enough. This is
right.
This man to the soul, he's a protector. I love it.
It is. And fortunately, the agency I work for would, if we got, when you get mobilized for a year, they continue your benefits. It really helped out a lot.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then as, you'd leave for a year, depending where your deployment was, come back and, and this was when you talk about training, right? Like when I met Bryce, here's a guy that's a world champion kickboxer.
Mm-hmm.
He's at a medical package in San Diego. And to splinter off this, he just reinforces what I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a guy who's, at the pinnacle of his game, training world champions, but he still finds time to go as a student to a class. And, and there we were, as they say,
right. So there I was,
smoking blood. And then now we're buddies. And now, it dovetailed off, and now I met you. So that's my career in a nutshell. Police-wise, like everybody else, started patrol, found things I like to do. My cities, I work with a very heavily gang populated, very violent, a lot of shootings. it's an active city. It's the city not for the faint of heart, and it has a good reputation, like different divisions. Hey, don't come here if you don't want to work hard, and because you will get in a fight, and they will test you. But if you can control your emotions and be competent, then you'll be more confident and not react out of lizard brain, as they say.
Right.
So start out there, do about 4 years on patrol. I get the tap, go to a special detail, end up joining the trying out. Didn't make the SWAT team the first time. I think that's just a rite of passage. They just want to see if you cry if you don't make it.
Right.
You shut your mouth and like, all right. Inside, in your inner voice is like, I know I'm better than that guy.
Yeah, right. You're gonna make me take another lap. I know I'm better than that guy.
If, never let them see you bleed.
Right.
So, I do that for 19 years. In their detective work, and you also get to a point where you're always training, you're always learning, and you get to a point where your body just says, I can still make all the PTs, but am I making them in the top 10%?
Right.
And then it was time to go, hey, look, I'm just going to go back to being just a blue suiter. Picked up sergeant, and now I'm back in patrol as a sergeant. And it's the best place to be when you want to mentor and help young officers make the right decisions. And for me especially, helping veterans transition from the civilian world into the blue suit world.
Yeah.
And really reining mostly the Marines. I get my young devil dogs. It's mostly harnessing that energy because they're all in
a productive manner. Power without a purpose is a problem. You got to direct it somewhere positive. You got to
a lot of energy. So that's about it.
That's awesome, man. What a career. Thank you so much for all that service. That's beautiful. How would you describe what's driven you to be this protector? I talk a little bit about the protector DNA, and this is the guy he might be a barista at Starbucks right now, but like if someone goes in there, he's going to do something about it. He was the guy that defended his friends on the playground, wouldn't let people pick on other people while they're around. It's like there's something inside some of us, because this to you is more than just a job. This is like, it's obviously a calling, This is more than a 9-to-5 way of life, How would you describe kind of what's driven you to that? Was there a situation in your childhood, or was this just kind of a drive that was in you?
I'd like to say I'm a deep thinker, but I've never thought at that angle. And you're right. I think it's the endorphin. It's the they call it the cup of fortitude, right? Hard days make hard men and women, but the cup gets empty, and somehow, somewhere, you need to refill that cup. Otherwise, you're going to crash as a human. Mm-hmm. It ain't Napoleon's 2 cents ribbon. It's somebody I respect coming up and giving me some people don't need it. Obviously, I need it going, hey, thank you. Or giving me knuckles, hey, good work. Yeah. I'm probably as simple as a Malinois doll.
Yeah.
If I get a pat on the back, I'm good. Sure, I can do without it, but it makes me, it validates what I'm doing,
Yeah.
It's that makes me feel good. It's a cup of coffee in the morning. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. No, that's huge. I can completely relate with that when patrons of my course, students of my EP school are like, hey man, without this, I don't know where I'd be, or I wouldn't have a job, or I wouldn't I really needed what you said today. I'm like, I like to think that I don't need that. You know what I mean? I like to think I'm just, but when it comes, it's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. You can't put a price on that. So I 100%, it's meaningful, and it's valid. Yeah. It's beautiful. That's awesome, man. Well, let's see here. Let's dig into the Vegas, and into the Route 66. Right, you break it down for us?
Yeah. Any question you have? And there's a couple good reads I've had. I've had a couple good mentors. One guy was an SF guy, worked with us for years and years, and way before reading Colonel Grossman and all this was before he was going to police work. And before folks like you were out there talking to us, feeding our brain, inoculating us to things, he was the only guy. So my friend takes me to see this guy, and he goes, hey, look, when and if you get in a shooting or as you start seeing a lot of dead bodies, you just need to know these are some things that can happen to you.
Right.
Mike, everybody's good in the front end, but it's the back end.
Yeah.
I go, all right. And nicest guy in the world, the humblest, the funny things, right? SF guy, they keep him off the SWAT team for 8 years. Just out of guys were intimidated of him.
Just okay.
Versus men, people like you and I would say, hey, let's bring this guy in, let's keep him in a box and say, hey, train us up.
Yeah.
So if you're an SF guy, Green Beret for you folks, and you're an instructor out of the Q course, maybe you can teach some police officers a thing or two.
Yeah, maybe we can learn something from. Yeah, absolutely.
So he took the time to mentor me, so I learned a lot from him. And he gave me this book on Colonel Grossman. I went to go hear him speak and what to expect and how to react and why some fight or flight, what's going to move and what's not going to move. And what that did to me is I just had an understanding that I don't know which way I'm going to go the first time.
Right. This is big, y'all. Listen up.
But I know it's if I end up in neutral, find first gear.
Yeah. Yep.
Find first gear, you'll find second and so on. Just don't go in reverse.
Yeah.
And don't be so shocked when you're in neutral. Just get out of it.
Yeah.
Take that battle breath, that combat breath, get some situational awareness, that tactical pause, which all seem like words prior to my multiple, activities, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm like everybody else, man. I'm in Vegas at a country concert. I'm with a bunch of friends, some from LAPD, some from other different agencies. And if you can visualize the venue itself, let's say the concert stage is at the top of your screen to give you a ground map right here. And the shooter's going to be on the right side of your screen, and Mike and his crew's all the way to the left. I'm not in the main pocket crowd where it's really tight. The music's playing. It's day 3. And if any of you all have been to Vegas more than 2 days,
you're in the state you're in.
Day 3, you're just licking your wounds.
Yeah. You're surviving. You're surviving.
Like, hey, who came up with 3 days? Nobody wants to be that guy to tap out. So shit, here we are.
Push. Push.
It's the push. At that point, you're looking at your buddies and you're like, oh, I know you're going to go out too. Somebody,
are we really doing this? We're doing this. All right.
Are we really doing this? We go together. So sitting there listening to the music, we got some civilian friends with us. Music blaring, 180 decibels, just chilling, talking. And then I hear a couple pops, but remember the music's coming toward me. And it's in an urban environment and it's angling off the walls. So, I like to have a belief that, hey, the day chooses you, and that day it chose me. And I hear the pops, and from operational or practical experience, I go, man, that sounds like gunfire.
Yeah.
And my body switches. Hey, I'm at a country concert. Maybe it's the speaker. My body is looking, Byron, for it not to be a gun. So
like hoping.
Now, right? It's just weird how the human body goes, no, it's not. And then it's only a couple. And then people are still just standing there. Music's still playing. And then I hear the cyclic rate that is automatic gunfire. Right? But the body is still going, and your ear goes up like a dog. I'm like, what is that? And then my buddy goes, hey, man, that's gunfire.
Yeah.
And I pause and I go, man, there must be a gunfight outside the venue.
Yeah. You're still finding ways for it not to be happening.
Yes,
it's that denial thing.
I'd like to share that. And
yeah.
What would one takeaway from that be? assume that it is always.
Right.
Know? And so those people listening and watching, you know, I've already seen, I don't want to say hundreds, but I've already seen hundreds of people shot, right? And treated them and seen the gunfire and seen people drop. And I still went, what is that? So then the music stops.
That's a big point, man, because I do these tactical protection reviews, and one of the huge reasons I think good guys lose a lot and a lot of good people are victimized is that cognitive dissonance between like the event's happening, it's already taking place, and normal people who are just working their 9 to 5 are sitting there trying to like find a way for it not to be happening. They don't realize when violence is the answer, it's the only answer. And right now, this is what's happening. We have to get into action. And so they end up behind the 8 ball. And it's definitely something for people to think about. And that's why, you know, we try to talk about having that software and that mental preparation and looking for things, rolling risk assessments, you know, tactical positioning, put yourself in a position where you have that visual mastery, you know, context. Where am I going? What kind of risk is there? What should I kind of be aware of, you know? And that can give you that little head start to be like, oh, boom, there it is. And then get into action as quick as you can. Because your natural body, unless you're like, you know, if you don't have the context, if you were in the street and this happened, you would have been like, okay, what's going on? Let's get into action. Because you were at a concert and this type of thing hasn't happened much at concerts, really. It's kind of like, you know, my wife went to a concert the other day and I'm like looking at her before she leaves. I'm like, make sure you have a route out. That's not the route everyone else is going to pick. You know, make sure you're smart, be paying attention, you know, because now the context, we have new understanding.
That will come into play because I had made a mental note. Where's the back exit? And what I did, and this was based on, there was a fire back in New England and a bunch of people burned to death alive at a White Snake or some type of rock and roll concert. Mm-hmm. You can Google it on YouTube, but it's all caught on video. And there's a fire and they all try going out the front door and they get trapped, human bodies trapped. And when you watch this video, they get burned alive. And they're filming them from 20 feet away, filming them as they're all pinned in the door, stacked like logs. And you see the people moving, people are trying to pull them, but there's so much body weight. It's hard to watch, but I force people to watch it back to have a plan out. Well, it's a restaurant, folks. Every restaurant, most restaurants, food doesn't come in the front door, it comes in the back door. So go to the kitchen and run out the kitchen.
Exactly.
Right? Well, something as simple as that. So when I get to this venue, I see the food carts coming in the south end. It just sits in my brain. Okay, I got an out plan. Mm-hmm. You just mentioned it. I drank that.
Have a plan.
Yeah, have something. Have an out. You know, you'll figure it out on the fly. Like we always. Real quick. The bad guy has a vote.
Oh yeah, he picks a time and place.
I hear the gunfire. I push my friends down. I go, hey, get down. What I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to do the whole OODA loop thing. I'm trying to orientate myself to the threat. Because I don't know where it's coming from.
That's like hard, yeah.
So I'm trying to, hey, where is this thing coming? And, you know, they go, hey, get down. I chose not to take a knee or make myself small because I didn't know where it was coming from. And I wasn't. And my mind had already went to, hey, don't die on your knees.
Okay.
If this guy's coming, you have to bum rush him.
Yeah.
And fear, like courage or violence of action is contagious. Yeah. Everybody, you know, it happens. So I stay up and I'm hearing it, and then the music stops.
Okay.
It stops. All the lights come on. And then at that moment, I already see people running past me as I have my friends down, people shot. And then the next cycle comes. And it was different because for most of us that have been in the military, very rarely do you hear a 100-round drum go off of like a saw, right? So you're going to hear a 30-round, you know, mag get dumped, you know, like in the Mad Minute, young kids getting this shooting on.
Right.
But as the cycle goes, And my mind is thinking, man, where is this? So you have mine's like, hey, this isn't a 30-round mag. And then it goes full auto. And I'll send you the audio as well. It's from an Uber. And the impact of the audio lets us normal people realize, what would I do by this cyclic rate of
just clicking off?
It's just clicking.
Wow.
I have to fight my natural response to lay down.
Right. And stay in motion and just keep problem solving until you either die or get out and keep problem solving.
Those are your options. So
yeah.
So then we push. I think, hey, we need to take cover. Mm-hmm. I have no gun, can't really tell where it's at. I'm seeing people shot coming from the northeast corner. So I'm going to the northwest corner. Mm-hmm. Right. At that point, I see awesome. And I see 4 or 5, as you say, protectors in Las Vegas Metro shirts running through the crowd, running toward the sound of gunfire. I'm like, yeah, right on. Go get it.
Outstanding.
So
going to Valhalla.
I hear more gunfire. We grab our friends. Some people are already frozen, just laying on the ground. Mm. In 30 seconds, I see 2 of the officers coming back, 1 shot to the face.
Oh.
And they're carrying him out. I said, hey, let's follow the officers. That's our way out.
Yeah, they know the route.
They know the route. And a friend of mine, solid guy, he goes, hey, let's go to the entrance. It's bigger. And not that it's paranoid, but I'm thinking, hey, man, I give him a little speech. I go, look, hey, if I was doing this hit, I'd set you up with propane bombs. I go, we're not going out the front.
No, and that's where everyone else is going to probably try to go too.
And that's where they were. Right? Yep. I'm watching bodies. Everybody's running to the front. By then the kiosks were empty, right? People are jumping over food stands, and I'm seeing the crowd move. And I have a contingency of about 8. And I see this corn dog stand that I can remember, right? So I duck them in there. And so even in chaos, there's fun. So, so I get in there, and I happen to go to the place where they're frying corn dogs.
Heck yeah, you grab a corn dog?
I'll tell you some other stuff about getting some war trophies, but that's a different story.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
So I get in there. First thing I look, hey, I need a knife.
Something.
I need a knife, a spatula. I'm going to arm something up. But I also know once I run out of there, if I run out of there, I'm going to keep it hidden because some young officer is going to put one in me because...
Halo effect, man. He's going to be like, that's a guy.
That's the guy, man. So we're in there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and you still hear the gunfire. Shooting. Wow. People screaming, yelling, and I'm looking up. All my friends are ducked down. And then I go, hey, it's just way too damn hot in here. Bad choice.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. I go, look, we got to move. Mm-hmm. Still shooting. They go, no, it's safe in here. I said, hey, look, we got to move. So we start running to the southwest, and I'm seeing people wounded and shot, but I have 6 civilians with me and a couple police officers. We get 50 yards from the exit. I see this white tent, medical tent. Mm-hmm. In front of the medical tent, if you can visualize every carnival you've ever gone to, as I'm running toward the exit with the other thousands of people, cars are stopped, they're loading up bodies. Now it's like maybe 5 minutes into it. He's still running gunfire.
Still ripping. Oh, man.
Ripping it. But what I want folks to understand, because there's so many people, you can't see somebody getting hit 20 yards away from you. Because of the mass wall of humanity. You just hear the yelling.
Right.
And now in hindsight, I had a plan to move. All that was just noise.
Yeah.
And I had my 3-foot rule. It only matters what's 3 feet in front of me.
Nice. That's like got me through training. That's got me through a lot of things, man. Get these next 3 feet, and just chunking it. Just get to breakfast. Just get to lunch, man. Just make the next best decisions.
Just get to the hot dog stand.
Yeah, get to the corn dog stand.
Get to the corn dog, man.
And 6 minutes is an eternity.
It is
an eternity, you guys, in something like this. And you got to keep operating. You got to keep moving. You got to keep problem solving. You got to keep goals. This is awesome.
So as I'm running by, I see bodies, let's say 8 or 9 bodies laid on the ground right in front of the the first aid station. And I look at them, and they're not moving, and some are moving around, and I see people just running past them. Yeah. And then I still hear the gunfire. I get my friends to the gate, and I go, "Hey, just go." I go, "Look, I'm going to go back in," because I could offer medical help,
right? Just
with my brain in my hands.
Yeah.
And like a good partner, like we had mentioned,
yeah.
And I pushed out a lot of cops, and they were running. And in hindsight, later they got a hold of me. They had a hard time dealing with survivor's guilt. Just so folks know on here. Yeah. But if you have your family with you, your family's priority.
100%.
The day's going to choose you, and you're going to make that decision. Hey, am I going to go in now, or am I going to make excuses and have issues later?
Yeah. Real talk. Very real.
And in hindsight, what we're hearing about Texas is kind of on. So
we're going to get into that.
And the mindset is, I think in the military, I shouldn't say I think in the military, you walk down those hallways of different classes, and they have that 8x10, a picture of a service member for non-military folks. And in there, they have the citation, which means what this person did as a hack and as an act of heroism,
right?
Of selfishness, not doing their own, not worrying about themselves. And you kind of read that in the hallway. Almost all of it is posthumously awarded. They died doing it.
Right.
When you're young, you kind of go, shit, I want my name on that wall.
Yeah.
I want to go out. And it's, some of us do.
I get chills just think, yeah.
Right. I mean, you walk those halls, man. You walk those halls and you look and you go, could I do what this guy did?
Right.
Maybe. I hope so. I'll never know.
Hope so. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's I hope so. I hope I can, I hope I have what it takes to do that, And that's really the protector's heart, It's the ultimate act of service. No greater love than this, and a man would lay down his life for another, And that's, I think that's what it takes in all these microseconds, these moments when you're like, I'm going to go back in. When you're about to hit a door and you're with your guys, it's, for me, because I had one mistake in training. When we were training, my guys just got back from Fallujah. We were doing mount, and we kicked in a door in a training environment, and one of the 11s was down the hallway with a saw with a bunch of Sims. Back in the back of the hallway, just whoa, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I just got back from boot, and my guy, he went in and he grabbed me, and they had a guy in Fallujah get chopped in half and hung out a window because he went into a house by himself, and the whole platoon got to see that. And so they grabbed me and they tightened me up the way Marines do, and they were like, you never, ever let a man go in by himself. And since that moment, I was like, I'm gonna be ready to die well every single time I hit a door. And then and you have to kind of deal with that inside. And then once it's dealt with, I mean, you're on a whole nother level, I believe, as a protector. But that moment where you're like, I'm going to die. I could die over this, and and it's fine. Like, this is my moment. Be like, when you went back in there, that was that micro moment, it's just, I don't even know if I'm describing it right, but it's.
I think you are. And part of it is, I shouldn't say part of it, and everybody has their own different, where, hey, look, I have to go.
I have to. Yeah, like I can't not.
And then, hey, but I'm not so humble. So when people, I'm not that guy. I'm thinking, oh, this is the other part. And however you justify it mentally, hey, this is badass. I can do badass shit right now. I'm sorry, cussing. And I'm in it.
Yeah.
And then my mind's also thinking, oh, my boys are going to owe me beers.
This is like, I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. Yeah. Rock music like this.
It's your ego too, so don't kid yourself.
Yeah, man. No, that's so good. That's so good. All the PTSD comes back like, finally. Oh, man. Okay.
So, as we get our friends, I go, I'm going back in. A partner goes, like all partners, like your Marines told you, nobody goes alone. Gives me the verbal response, shit.
You already know. Yep. We're doing this, bro.
Here we go.
Yep.
So we pop open the glass doors, and now I want people to visualize a 20 by 30 cloth tent. As soon as I open the door, I look straight ahead and I see two EMTs again, things you remember. Now, I have, just to paint a picture, I probably have seen 200 plus dead bodies. Let's go easy, 200 plus. Some from majority gunshot, but also traffic collisions, suicide, you name it. More gunshot violent. Most of those I just compartmentalize, and it means absolutely nothing to me. Mm-hmm. It's just the way I work.
Right.
But I can go in there because then I'm in my warrior mindset where, hey, this is your uniform. Hey, we'll mourn tomorrow. We got work to do today, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
But I open the door and I see 2 pairs of Daisy Dukes, 2 pairs of cowboy boots, and I see tourniquets, and I see 2 EMTs. So what folks need to realize, nobody's coming for you in an incident like this. Nobody is coming for you. Now we'll just utilize partially of what we're hearing about Texas. They're outside. Now, we don't know the structural, outward opening, concrete wall, steel reinforced door that they can't force it open. There's a will, there's a way, but nobody's coming for you. Right. So if you remember that, don't look around for 911. It's not happening. They're going to be overwhelmed.
Right.
I open it up. I see them treating, and now I'm orientating myself to what's going on. And I still hear the gunfire outside the tent. Wow. It's still rolling, pop, pop, pop. Hear people screaming. But like with anything else, I don't want to say tunnel vision, but I guess it is tunnel vision. I flipped the switch without thinking about I'm flipping the switch, and I said, "Okay, medical time."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, Mike, what do you do? What do we do? We assess. Boom. Hey. Tell my partner, hey, T, glove up. We glove up, and now I start looking for who's bleeding the worst. And now I'm thinking the old March algorithm, right? Yep. Massive hemorrhaging. Okay, what can I do? I see them putting tourniquets, see a couple other people shot. There's probably 20 people shot that are inside this tent. Wow. And there's a bunch of people moving around. And then you just have to take that combat pause. Okay, I'm looking for the bleeding the worst. Right, exactly. And I see the first one. Hey, do you have any tourniquets? The EMTs go, no. And then okay, Mike, what do I need? How do I make hasty tourniquets? Think of your training. Okay, I need shirts. I need windlasses. Yep. Terry goes, hey, I have a stethoscope. I have a brachial. Fix it. I go, you're on your own. This was a student of mine. I go, hey, you're on your own in here. You got it. We went to TECC class together, TCCC class. Same place. I met Bryce, always going to medical class. I said, hey, this is it. Hey, you're on your own, but hey, don't leave the tent without me. You're going to be my battle buddy. You go, I go.
Back to the basics, man.
Back to the basics.
The stuff that works. Back to the stuff. Works.
And it helps calm you down. So,
yeah.
People are crying in there, not a lot. And they're on their phone. They won't let go of their phone. They're bleeding to death over a brachial, a gunshot to the arm for most folks, but they're holding their phone. They won't even stem the flow of their own blood.
Wow.
Because this phone is ingrained in them and they want to cry. They want to, this will help me versus I need to help myself first, right?
Right.
I need to help myself. So puts a tourniquet on there, uses a stethoscope as a tourniquet.
Yep.
So in those rooms, those first aid rooms, it's the average EMT. He's 18 or she's 18 to 20 years old. She's going to be a great firefighter someday. Yeah. But in the meantime, they're putting in the work.
Right.
So they don't really know how to assess. They don't know how to triage. They don't know how to say, you're going to die. And for you listeners and watchers, if you go to a mass casualty incident, you're going to be the one that says, you're going to die. You're alive right now.
Right.
I can't help you.
Right.
And I'm going to expend my time and energy on this person that has a better chance of living.
Yep.
And you need to plant that in your head now. Mm-hmm. And you deal with it. You just look at them, help me. And you just, whether you want to say something to them, whether you want to lie to them, that's it. I didn't. I looked at people, help me. I patted them. Mm-hmm. And I went to the next. So what we ended up doing is there's still gunfire. So after about 9-10 minutes, the gunfire stops.
9-10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a marathon of gunfire. That's a marathon. And you're doing care under fire the whole time.
Yeah, you're in there just working,
Mm-hmm.
and once we're inside, so I have people shot in the chest, and I've gone through a lot of medical packages, the armies, the Air Forces, the Marine Corps, the State Department, but you'll forget certain things. That's why you have to
have the March algorithms and have
that's stuff. It. And even then, I tell guys, hey, look, you're going to mess it up.
Yeah, you just are.
Don't get hung up on it.
Right.
Just move on. And so I'm looking, there's probably 10 people shot in the upper torso.
Okay.
So that's a 5.56, very small round. So for you, TECC, you 2CCC, you stop the bleed, you guys in personal protection, girls in personal protection details, and you get your client out, hey, you need to sweep that body because it's going to coagulate. I know this ain't a medical class. Yes, it's going to coagulate. And then they're kind of different towels, like you're going to scrape. The other thing is now they're spreading it. You're spreading the wound because the blood's going to coagulate and close it. And so looking at that 5.56, it looked like a zit.
Literally, it's like a slit, like a little stab, maybe.
And I'm looking at it and I see this kid. And then I asked them, hey, you have any more gauze? And they're like, no, they had just the red bag. Now they're a little more, they have more stuff. So I go, hey, when I'm looking now, I'm thinking, okay, what can I do if I make a hasty tourniquet? Some guy walks in there and goes, I'm going to start cutting the tent.
Heck yeah. This guy.
Another guy came in there. He was looking for work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the mentality.
And he goes, well, how long are the strips? I go, 2 feet. And he starts cutting the tent. Then the part of me goes, man, he's cutting our concealment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But then the other part of the brain goes, Mike, it's the white tent with the big red cross on.
Mike, it's white. He's got and you're like, either way, I'm just gonna keep working. Let me just
either way, I'm gonna keep going. So man, there's a ton of different. And then this young cat comes in there and he brings a body and he sets it down. I'm out. And throughout the day, this kid would become dropping off bodies. So I'm in there for about an hour.
Wow. And
I've treated everything. So now I have a couple chest wounds and I look, okay, tension pneumothorax, March algorithm. Okay, I don't have any massive hemorrhaging right now because when I was working on some of the tourniquet bleeds, then I had a mouth bleed. They bring a young lady in, she's shot through the face, she's choking on her own blood. Mm-hmm. People are holding her up, and then I'm thinking, hey, the only thing I can do for her is her airway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I go in there, and for you, you're going to have to get in there, man. So I go in there and I sweep a hand. Yeah.
Get in there.
As soon as I open it up, man, she goes, oh.
Awesome.
I go, can you breathe? She goes,
okay.
Good enough for me? I said, you got to go. And somebody grabs her, she's out the door.
Yeah.
So then I'm now I have a little bit of time. It's like 30 minutes into it. And in this time, there's never been a firefighter. There's never been a paramedic. Never been a police officer. Just folks working.
Okay.
So I go, hey, now I need to make a chest seal. So I go, look, I need you to make a tape. This kid's looking at me and I grab his hand. I go, put your hand over your chest. So we make the first chest seal.
Yep.
And he's looking at me and Marcus is his name. And he looks at me and I look at him and I don't know why I did this, right? I know I'm trying to communicate. I go, Marcus, give me your phone. And he looks at me, I go, give me your phone, Marcus. He hands me his phone. I go, unlock it. He unlocks it. He's still looking at me, no shirt on, chest shot. I take a picture of him. I know he's probably thinking, but I go, hey, man, you're going to live, kid. This is your best Instagram moment ever. So I go,
man, you gave him something to live for. It's genius. It's so good.
That wasn't it. I will take that trophy though.
Yeah.
He points to his wound.
Yeah.
Like, let's say it's right here.
Yeah.
And he goes,
click. Yes.
And then I put it on. And then he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. And so for my high-speed PJs and everybody on here, my
meat eaters and all the Viking ninjas.
What happened, gents and ladies, is I had a row of 10 to 12 upper torso GSWs, gunshot wounds.
Yep.
What I failed to do, I failed to look at this kid's back. Because what happened, once I sealed his chest, I was looking at the next call.
Mm.
And for you room clears, I didn't clear the deep corner because I saw movement to my left. And you're like, oh, Mike, you failed. Yeah, you're right. Right? I got to clear that deep corner. Even if that guy's squirting to the left, I know my boy's got to pick him up.
Right. And I got to punch to the corner.
Yeah. So I'm just making chest seals. And then my kid, Marcus, I look at him and I go, hey, start tearing tape for me. What I should have done is, hey, you got to get out of here. Right. And now, and I was in another, not mass shooting, but a mass shooting. I was better than I was at this one.
Okay.
So as we're treating people, chest seals, I get sucked in, man. Terry and I are looking at each other. Hey, you good? I'm good, man.
Keep working.
Somebody goes, hey, help me outside. I step outside. There's bodies laid out there, 8, 9 dead, right? Okay. I see a guy doing CPR. He goes, hey, help me do CPR. I get over there and I start doing CPR. Now, we're like 30 something minutes. And then it's dawning on me. Why am I doing CPR?
Why am I doing CPR? Yeah, with all this bleeding and everything going on right now.
I got sucked in. I got sucked in on the emotion, man. It happens. But no, if you get stuck in neutral, move forward. So I look at her. I know she's dead, right? Yeah. Check the eyeball. Nothing happens. So I close her eyes. Why did I do that? I don't know. Right. And then I hear from my right on my right. Don't stop. Don't close your eyes. That's my dog. And because I was in work mode, I made the choice not to look at mom or ever see mom's face. So I turned left and walked away.
Right.
Those are the choices you need to be prepared to make. Now's not the time.
Right.
Go back in there. There's a guy. He's pushing. He's covering an abdomen wound and he's pushing hard. And I tap him. I go, hey, man, all you can do is seal that. We'll make a chest seal. Stop pushing. And he yells at me, I'm an EMT paramedic. I'm like, all right, exactly. We bandage up some more people. The guy with no shirt in drops another body off. And then it dawns. I hear somebody say, hey, it's a doctor. I go, is there a doctor in here? There's bodies. And in the corner there, he goes, yeah, I'm a doctor. I look in the corner. There's a guy who says he's a doctor. Mm-hmm. He has 2 tourniquets on himself for a calf wound. I guess it's
okay. So trauma medicine and doctor medicine are 2 different things, y'all. Just so you guys, Yeah. Maybe he's doing it.
I go, hey, doc. He goes, check my tourniquets. I go, you're not bleeding. I go, look, I could use your help. He goes, I'm done. I can't help anybody.
Can you leave the tourniquets, doc?
No. I like 2 of them. Look and set a couple like. Now's not the time, Mike. Now's not
the time. Get going.
Now's not the time for him to go to the whiskey locker but and get tuned up. But all right.
Yeah, I know, right.
I go out. They go, hey, can you help me? I go outside. There's this. And right now, what I want people to understand is they're running bodies out. People are carrying them. They're putting body on those bicycle K-rails. Arms are just flopping.
Yep.
Thousands of people are doing great things.
Wow.
This is just my little snapshot.
Yeah.
They go, hey, Mike. Somebody goes, hey, help us. There's a guy outside. I go outside. There's another guy. He has his hand to his chest like this, 3 fingers.
Okay.
I go, where you hit? He takes it off. He has 3 bullet holes in his chest. And this guy has self-plugged his tension pneumothorax with his fingers.
With his fingers. He's getting it done.
And not moaning. Big old dude.
Yeah, just like, yo, this is what's going down.
Yes. And I look. I go, can you get up? And he just goes, no. I'm like, okay. I go, we got to move this guy. We got to get the gurney and move him 50 yards to the street. So I go in there, chaos a little bit, people treating people. I go, things I don't know, you should know. How do you lift and raise and lower a gurney? Next time you all are out there and you see some first responders or you're training with them, hey, show me how to run the gurney.
Yeah.
It's a simple tool, but it ain't so simple when you're
never seen
condition black, when you're, the heart rate's going and you're shaking off 4 margaritas early trying to.
On your 3rd day in the V-Town. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And you're doing a marathon of adrenaline and endorphins, like I mean, at this point, you may have made a full circle. You may even have calmed down and then came back up, at this time.
Round two.
Right.
So we go in there and I tell the kid, hey, I need the gurney, the young EMT. You can't take it, sir. It's only for emergencies, right? And that's where, her condition black was kicking in, the 19-year-old. And I think this qualifies.
Yeah.
I need you to teach me how to lift it up. So she teaches me. We load the guy, take it out there. We load the guy up in there. We wheel him out to the street. So there's a street that runs parallel to the venue, and cars were stopping. People were throwing bodies in there. It was like the movies. If there is such a movie.
Chaos.
And this is where I wasn't clear. I go, hey, get this guy in this back of this pickup truck and go. What do? They take the whole gurney. I go, hey, but I need the gurney. So we can go out into the field and grab who we can because the shooting had stopped.
Right.
No. So now the whole gurney's in there, and it's all adrenaline, and it's all former military guys, and it's all cops, and it's all
hammering and moving fast.
So they just knock him off the gurney into the back of the pickup truck and give me back my gurney. I'm like this.
Okay.
My bad. Next time I will clarify.
Yeah.
And ask for a repeat back.
Yeah, and ask for a repeat back. The repeat back's crucial.
And it was small, like treating chest, taking rags and shoving them up.
Stuffing them inside people.
Finding a rag in the street and shoving it into a guy's hip.
Yep.
Because that's what it had. So in the end, we treated for like an hour. The guy's still putting pressure on the guy's stomach. I said, my partner goes, hey, Mike, there's nobody left alive in here. We can go now. And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, and now I'm just here working, doing nothing, I go, yeah, let's go. And that guy's still putting pressure on the kid's belly. I go, hey, look, you got to get him outside. And he gives me the same speech. Now, for you jiu-jitsu rollers, you would have watched this application of the carotid and go, yeah, you could have went a little bit deeper on the V. And I would have been receptive to your training because that's not my expertise. But I'll put a guy to sleep.
Yeah.
So he's still putting pressure on the guy's abdomen, which is, so you non-medical, it's not going to solve anything other than make him uncomfortable. I got to get him out of there because now we're like 45 minutes, an hour into it where tension pneumothorax will kick in or he'll bleed out.
Yeah.
So I kneel behind the alleged EMT paramedic. I lock his hips in. I put the carotid on and I put him to bed. So I put him to sleep.
Put him to sleep. Little blood chill.
I lay him down, but I know when he wakes up, he's going to wake up a different guy. So when he wakes up, I've already mounted him. The victim it's funny because I remember looking over at the victim and he's looking at me like, what the heck
is going on? Are these guys doing this right now?
Why are these guys putting each other to bed?
Yeah.
The kid wakes up, I tell him, I go, look, you have to get control of yourself. What's your name? Tells me his name. Are you good? Yes. I said, so if you're not good, there's more of this coming. You good? He goes, yeah. Okay. Get the guy out of here. He gets the guy, walks him out of here. And then they move us all down the street. So, so people understand there's clothes and stuff. And I'll send you a link of all the pictures. I mean, you got to figure 20,000 people running out of their shoes. So we go to the next door building and things you need to think about. Hey, have your family close. There's reports of multiple active shooters. It's not just people are running into the hotel next door, right? They're wounded in there.
Yeah.
So when we're in there, I grab some pillows and sheets because there's a door open. Hey, what are you doing? I go, dude, we're going to be here for 3 days. We're going to bivouac. I'm going to set up a hooch. Mike is good. You guys,
he went straight back on a field up. Like he's on a deployment right now. You guys.
Yeah. I go, you guys going to be uncomfortable and I'm not going to embrace the suck. I found an open door. I'm good.
I'm good. This is home for the next 72 hours.
At least, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Right. So, we just need to find a food source.
So they settle down. Then they're going to move us all to this big arena and they're checking everybody. And I have my bag of goodies. And then I see my kid with no shirt. He goes, hey, sir, what's up? I go, hey, I know you, man. He goes, yeah, that was awesome. He goes, young kid. He goes, that was gnarly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
That you can be described that way.
Yeah, that was something else, man. I go, I've never seen so many people shot. And he goes, no, not that. I've never seen a guy choked out. So, hey, so I look at this kid.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, I work for LA Fire. And then he tells me he works in a very violent neighborhood, a station.
Right.
That's why all the gunfire didn't affect him.
It was like noise. It was just noise. He was like, yo, this dude's getting choked out.
Yes. And in hindsight afterwards, I thought, this kid, he's probably mid-20s. I go, this is the pipe hitter. This is the American hero waiting for another day. I go, this is this kid, because none of that bothered him. He goes, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was gnarly. I'm like, okay. So we're there, long hallway.
Wow.
We're going to be there for days. I see him. I go, hey, that's your partner? Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, I'm going to set up a hooch here. I go, you kept bringing me bodies. He goes, yeah, I met this guy. And this guy goes, come with me. We're going to go get people. And he goes, yeah, it was the neatest thing. Yeah. And I'm listening to him. Now he wants to talk, right? He's all covered in blood.
He's letting it go. He's letting it out. Yeah.
We're just talking. I tell him, and he goes, so this guy told me, he told me to repeat after me. I'm up.
He sees me. I'm down.
Yes. And I'm listening, and I'm thinking, like Byron, you said, he went, this ranger took this guy to the basics. Yes. So you all will need to recruit somebody. They'll do what you tell them, or they'll won't do anything.
Right.
So he goes, yeah. So I would repeat it. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. He goes, we get down, and we would crawl around, see who was breathing or not breathing, or just too scared. We'd pick him up, and we'd run the patient. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. He goes, we did that for like 5 or 6 bodies, and I'm listening. He goes, yeah. The guy says, hey, look, I'm a ranger. Follow me. And I go, where'd the ranger guy go? And he goes, he just left.
Wow.
Right out of the Ranger book, right? Hey, Rangers.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's Marine Corps Ranger. Like I was like, wow, that's
so
awesome.
The small stories are. So we set up our thing, and I go, hey, we're going to be here a while. I go, hey, tell the folks we'll be back. We're going to go get some food. I take the pillowcase. I go, hey, come with me. And remember, there's 10,000 people stuck in these hotel hallways. Well, like all hotels in Vegas, there's all the restaurants. They're empty now because people are jumped out, screaming, yelling.
Yeah. Time to go get some corn dogs.
Right. We're grabbing. He goes, what are we doing? I said, look, there's some people that are hurt. One, we need to get them some water. Two, we need to get some food. Some people start passing out. I said, we need to do what we need to do. It's all good. He goes, hey, is that like stealing? I go, no.
We're surviving right now, bro.
I go, it's survival, man. And the right term would be looting.
There you go. That's a police officer.
Right. And
then, terminology.
I go, hey, bro, it's okay. I go, I'm a sergeant, man. They want to ask me and tell them, yeah, I took it. And I need to wash blood off for people. And there's got to be intent, my man. So I go, look, not time for law school, but
I'm eating this corn dog. I'm eating this whatever I find right now.
So we grab some food, and then I go to grab some plastic water. Back to this young hardcore kid. Yeah. I'm grabbing some water, and he goes, grab the vase. And I look, I'm like, what? The vase.
The good water.
Yeah. He goes, the vase water, it's expensive. And I went, dude, you're a whole different level kid.
Like he's thinking it, the whole thing through. He's like, yo, let's get oh man, that's awesome. This kid. So,
we go back. We're there for 2 or 3 hours in this venue. And then so people know if you're involved in this, then they just kick you out. You're free to go.
Just get out of our venue.
Bye. And I'm like, works for me.
Yeah.
So it takes me an hour or two. I get on the plane. This was months. I get on the plane Monday morning because by the time I get to the hotel, I go to work Tuesday.
Wow.
And they go, you good? My watch commander. I go, yeah, I'm good, man. He goes, hey, you need any time off? I go, no, I don't need any time. I go right back to my business. But I knew I was going to crash.
Yeah, I was about to say, so where's the fall? There's always because I did the same thing, man. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm highly functional. And then I went high into the right and just started maladaptively coping to try to keep myself going. It was like a year later. I was like, yo, bro, you need to go power down somewhere.
Yeah, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm dead tired.
Mm-hmm.
Exhausted, like I'm dead tired.
Mm.
So I go, look, hey man, can I go home? He's like, yeah, I can't believe you showed up.
Yeah.
I go home and my phone's blown up from people that were there with me, and they ran out. They ran and hid, and they did what they and
Felt right.
What they needed to do. You stayed, and you and T stayed for like an hour, and you carried. And I go, yeah, it's just. It wasn't that first day, but weeks later, they had a hard time coming to grips with. They had survivor's guilt for not staying. So then I had the obligation of, I set up some dinners. I set up some, through a guidance, of course.
Good.
Went to took some of them, Stop the Bleed class. I took other ones within the 3 or 4 days. I said, hey, let's all go to the range.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's get that gunfire.
Yep. Get inoculated. Let's get inoculated.
Yeah.
And that training, and I know we're going to talk about it in a minute, but one, the fact that you were able to speak to that survivor's guilt and that you took the time to help them with that, because that's a big, big thing. That's really awesome, And you have the tools. It's like, how can you have the tools, and you've been training, and you've been, going to these medical packages and remaining a student, no matter what rank or, where you are at in the structure of things. That stuff is so big. I think you said it the best at the beginning of this thing. No one's coming for you, and having all that to be able to bring to a situation like that is what I want to see our public really, really lean into.
I had the pros and cons. So when the first deployment to the Middle East as a reservist, so people don't know, you don't go as a cohesive unit. You pick up a
basketball game. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do 2 weeks training. Not a lot of time to figure out who's who in the zoo.
Right.
So we forward deploy. Then when we're done, fly back. We turn our kit into Fort Bliss, Texas. 2 days there. Fly back to Dam Neck, Virginia. For you guys don't know, we fill out our paperwork. Hey, shot, wounded, psycho, not psycho. You're done. So let's say we leave out of Al Asad Airport on Thursday. I'm sitting in my house alone 7 days later.
Wow.
No debrief, nothing. And then you're sitting in your house. You just left one where you're driving in Humvees and rocket-proof Toyota.
Waiting to get blown up.
And then you're just sitting in your house and with no other buddy to have a beer with or talk.
Yeah. Without the tribe, man, without the pack.
And then you are not good for those around you. And this is my personal experience. You're short fused. The wife will say, hey, it's Bobby's birthday and Bobby's this, and you're thinking, and you're
like, I don't give about Bobby's stupid birthday.
I don't like Bobby. I know Bobby's my son.
Yeah, exactly.
I could care less. And it's truly real in your heart. And you're just going, shut your mouth.
And you're trying to hold it all in and like,
oh man. And now it's like, you're laughing. I'm laughing at it too. So I call my buddy.
Yeah.
SF guy. I go, hey, dude. And this guy has like 10 deployments, 90-day capture kill packages. So I call him and I say, hey, man, this and that. He goes, you're totally normal, man.
Yep.
I go, I am. And he goes, yeah, it'll pass. He goes, just don't turn heavy to the bottle and try to work out as much as you can.
You try to work out as much as you can. This is awesome. And I hope you guys are listening. This is amazing.
Yeah, and I go, he goes, I know you want it. He goes, and go to nice dinners. I go, why nice dinners? He goes, because you can't afford the drinks, Mike.
Yeah.
I go, dude, you're like a Jedi. He goes, that way you won't drink that much. I'm like,
because you can't afford the drinks. I love it.
Right.
And that's the truth. When you start trying to change your state with these substances, you start to lean on the substances as a crutch to change your state instead of looking at past or find constructive ways to change your state, i.e. physical exertion, working out, and things like that. And that is how you get there. I still work out because of this stuff, probably. You know what I mean? Like, and this is the path of a warrior.
The path of the warrior. And it's mentally rewarding. And I still get up at 3 a.m.
Wow. I'm right behind you at 4, man.
Yeah. And,
wow.
And I'm PTing at 4 a.m.
Mhm.
Why? Because it's works for Mike Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. Are there days where that alarm's early? Yeah, man.
Oh yeah. And that
there, and then there's the peer pressure, and it's how you maintain that sanity, and so you can talk to it like this. And having seen both sides, guys really hit the bottle, wreck marriages, and it can be one incident, and all of us are different as it relates to traumatic stress.
really deal with this. Yeah.
Inner city kids, they're inoculated to it. Country boys and girls that are skinning
animals and slicing things open from young age, they're fine. They're like, you want a beer afterward? And you're like, yeah. That's,
you see how thick that guy's skin was? Man, that round barely went through. And
yeah, right.
Fine. And the other thing is, tell folks, hey, it's okay. You're normal if you're spinning out of control, but just know you are, and try to regroup. So what does all this training do? And like when I went to the training package last month or a month ago, it just keeps you inoculated. And there's some good training packages out there that use simulated blood and real patients. And there is nothing like heated, warm, fake blood coming out of a true guy missing a leg who's fighting you.
Yep.
So when it really happens, what's our always the student, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always the student you should be.
100%.
And then so that, that came and went.
Yeah.
And then recently, a year or two ago, I'm at work and there's a multiple shooting in a high rise.
Wow. Okay.
And, as I hear it over the radio, I hear officers are going, "Hey, we got multiple victims, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 down." I got the shooters are running. It's in a 25-story. And I know the young guys are out there hunting. They go, "Hey, there's 2 patients down here." I carry my IFAC everywhere I go.
Everywhere I go, man. Right here.
I carry it. I'm the guy. I carry a tourniquet. I carry, the basic tools in the Costco. They ain't gonna catch me. I have an obligation.
Catch me slipping. And that's the thing, man. Civilians, no one at that concert thought that was going to happen to them. As a civilian, even, at least in your second line gear in your vehicle, go get training. We're offering training at my school. There's a lot of training out there, but go get training so you can be competent with these situations. You may not turn into a soul snatcher overnight and be kicking indoors, but you'll at least be like, hey, I can fix that. I can help. Someone in your family unit, someone you love, I can fix that. I can help. I can stabilize them. Get this. The training is really, who do you want to be in the circumstance? The person that has to leave because you really don't know what you can offer, or do you want to be somebody who can actually help? And I think that's a question you want to ask yourself, before these things happen. But anyways, so
tell people, go to the training. If he's offering it, go. Get your group together, figure out how you're going to do it, where they get their kit.
Yep.
You can't do enough training, and it may never be this active shooter, right? It can be a simple accident. It can be you're cutting grass using a chainsaw, and he hits a major artery, and because you failed, that I don't know how to make a hasty tourniquet.
Right.
I don't know how to clear an airway when he catches when he crashes on his bike and he eats the curb, right? So we can go basic life. How do I do it? So you said, hey, go to the training. So this one, I hear where the victims are at. And unlike Route 91, I carry my IFAC for those of you that I carry it on a bungee.
Okay.
Most law enforcement agencies give it to you to clip it on your duty belt. None of you carry that.
None of you carry that. Absolutely
no.
Not. So you dummy cord it on like it's Spider-Man on there.
Right. So just have it bungee. Now I carry a tourniquet and a chest seal on an ankle holster. They sell them. I learned it from a PJ. So when I have my blue suit, I can reach it with my left or right hand, and a chest seal. It's part of my kit every day.
Yeah.
Habit, right?
You see.
The Marines said it best in their book of command. Be brilliant in the basics. I don't need you rappelling from a submarine off Mount Whitney. I just need you to be able to put accurate fire and administer a life-saving medical aid.
Yep.
We'll figure out everything else.
100%. Just do those good things, and we'll put you in the right places, and we'll make this thing do what it needs to do.
And it'll be a force multiplier, right?
Find work.
Find work. And then one guy comes and helps me. Byron comes and helps me. Then Bryce comes and helps Brent, and then we're champions. So for you first responders, I carry mine on a bungee. So when I go to a backyard or I go to a call, I put the hot. If you want to paint the bungee black and buy it for $20 and call it SWAT bungee,
tactical bungee.
Mine is about as bright orange as you can see. Because
yeah.
So I hook the bungee and I spin it, and it's hanging on my back. For all the infantry guys will get it. It looks like the old butt pack that would hold flares and whatnot.
Yeah, man.
My IFAC's there that everybody can see it. Like, okay, Sarge has an IFAC,
Yep.
I got to lead by example, right? So if I need it, I just spin it to the front of my body. It's on my hip. I unzip it. Zippers are always in the center, right? Easy to find when I'm losing my mind.
Right.
I zip it back up. I spin it around. So this is what I've been training for again. So I go to the call, all on body worn. There's multiple victims. Hey, and I have 2 young officers. First thing I asked them, you have your IFAC? No, sir, I don't have it. I said, all right. So I get the tool I need to treat this guy. Hey, take this portion of my IFAC, go treat him. Now, fire is not coming in because I'm listening on my comms. They're chasing these guys.
Okay.
The shooter's here. There's another shooter. Hey, we just found another victim shot in the head. He's on the 15th floor. And they go, hey, look, there's another body that's going up and down in the elevator. And then there's 2 out here. And the guys, so now the cavalry's coming. The shooter's still out there.
Right.
I got a patient. This is where I'm at. I'm good. He's alive. You talk to me. Yes. How do I get him out of here? First thing I do, comms is always critical, y'all. So guess what? The first thing to fail is comms. We've done this plan 100 times. We get in the basement. Where's my comms?
Comms. 0.
Non-existent. Nobody's
individual action, man.
Nobody's coming for you again. And the J chose you. It was a 90 degree day.
And Murphy's running around with a chainsaw and an ice pick, just wreaking havoc on everything.
And I'm thinking, yeah, you nailed it. Okay, where's this guy? Hey, there's another shooter over there. Is fire coming? No, fire staging. Okay, wait, there's no comms? Yes. Hey, somebody just called and said the shooter just ran into another apartment. Just coming in. So I'm like, I got this guy. You guys take those guys, the other 30 guys that are rolling, you find the shooter.
Prioritize, execute. Prioritize, execute.
We got to get these people out of here. I'm looking around. I'm in an open garage. I see carpet. I tell the guy, hey, you got your knife? He goes, yeah. I said, cut the carpet off the floor. We're going to stick him in here, cut handles, because we're going to be running bodies out. He's like, got it. But then as I turn the corner, and I'll send you these videos, there's 2 shopping carts. For those of you that live in apartments, how they have those cloth carts that people put their groceries in? I look. Bingo. Gurney.
Nice. Yes.
I run back to my patient, and there's things called busy talk, right? So my guy's he's shot through the gut. So I put a chest seal because it's just right above the belly button. And busy talk. But let's say his name is, I'll call him Gmail.
Just distract him. Just keep going.
I keep going. I go, Gmail, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And he's looking at me. I'm thinking, I don't even know why I said that, dude.
And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. And you're like, yo, man, what do you want to do?
And I'm a one-man show.
Wow.
So I treat him, cut his clothes, look for additional wounds because I have all my kit, bungee back up, roll out. And I tell him, hey, you have to save yourself. I go, I need you to stand up so I can put you in here and get you out of here. He's like, okay. I go on 3, 1, 2, 3. He has enough to stand up. I drop him in there, and I'm dragging this kid like a bag of groceries down the street.
Wow.
But what I do is the way we were trained. I wait till I get all the bodies. Everybody on me. We're going to consolidate one exfil, one exit point, so we don't get shot we don't have a blue on blue.
Exactly.
Everybody on me, and then funny parts. I pop the hatch to the building. I go, where's fire? On body when they go, fire's not coming. Mike's response, shit. Casualty collection point down the street. As we get down the street, I see fire about 300 yards away where they should be, right? They're staging, waiting for the body, and we're wheeling them bodies in shopping carts. Clockwork.
Getting them there.
It took it, and then reassess tourniquets.
Ways.
And I still try to go to training 2 or 3 classes a year.
Outstanding.
On the same stuff.
It's a perishable skill, man.
Yes.
Our certs are only good for 2 years. The TCCC, the TECC stuff is already like that. But even our hard skills package is like, look, I'm not going to sign off on you forever. This is a lifestyle. This is what I always talk about. This is more than just a job. Protection is a lifestyle. You've got to remain a student of these multiple disciplines. One hand to do violence, to save lives in order to stand between people and the wolf. One hand to save lives. You might go from engaging to then saving that individual's life. You don't just maintain this kind. It's not exactly like riding a bike. Your baseline of proficiency is what you need to continue to elevate, because that's what you're going to have. It ain't going to be, you're not going to shoot the way you shot after you was on the range for 20 minutes with your boys warmed up. No, you're going to shoot the way you shoot. If I put you on the line right now and say, all right, let's go, boom, maybe, probably worse, so you got to increase that baseline. And this comes from just being intimate and familiar with these arts, man. This is awesome. There's so many golden nuggets in here.
Read and go to school and train. And it doesn't matter if you're a 58-year old gentleman with 32 years in the Navy and 30 years as a copper. And nobody cares what you can't do. They want to know what you can do. So keep pushing your body, make yourself uncomfortable. What's Mike's takeaway? Keep training. Keep researching. If you don't have a tourniquet in your gym or in your gym bag, you're going to be that weird guy at the gym. You're going to push your body on the assault bike heart rate. Then I want you to try to put the tourniquet on. You can do it in the corner, or if you have a facility that has a gym, right trainer on it, throw 2 tourniquets in your gym, make them get that heart rate up to 145, 150, 160, and then have them put the tourniquet on. You want to make it more fun? Blindfold. And this is some stuff we went through a package with 18th group. They do the assault bike. So we do a 2-day package class training. Yeah. And it ends up on the assault bike. And then you get off and they blindfold you. They knot up your tourniquet while the guy's on the ground screaming. And you have to feel it, untie it, and then put it on.
You're giving me ideas for our indocs.
Oh, no, we stole it. Dude,
this is awesome.
I finished it and we went, say again. He goes, so then when we teach now, as roll call training, we'll do it early in the gym. We stole it. We go, this was the best thing. Because at first we go, hey, why do you put it in a knot? Or why do you do this? He goes, because that's how he's going to find it, Mike.
Yeah.
I want him to basically run his hands and he'll know with tunnel vision, oh, this is what's wrong. And another thing they taught us, he goes, because when he takes it out and he looks at it, because he's done it blindfolded, he'll know that he has a double feed, unless you will use weapons and terminology. Without having to put it on and have it fail. He'll just look at it. And I was like, oh, that's why you guys are the 18 deltas you are. And then the other thing they taught us is before we would do tourniquet training, I put my tourniquet on myself and then, okay, you got it on, no distal pulse, take it off. They go, never take off your own tourniquet. Because what they found is forward deployed, muscle memory kicks in, Mike gets hit, Mike puts his tourniquet on. What did Mike do in training?
Took it off.
So we always the student, we go, hey, we'll steal that too. So when our guys do training, they put tourniquet on, then they get their battle buddy, swim buddy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And they take it off. So.
What would you say about, as we're winding down here, but what would you say about kind of the red tape guys are finding themselves in, or whatever reason it is. With the shooting that we had in Texas, law enforcement officers going in or staying out. Any thoughts on that?
They knew what they had to do, and it would be disappointing if they tried to cover it up with any other excuse. Well, we didn't have tools, but how about this, man? How about you just keep kicking that door? How about you take a round like a breaching thing and you shoot through the door? Well, Mike, they don't have breacher training, but you have a brain.
Yeah. You're a man and you're a human and you have a brain. I was talking to him. Go ahead.
Yeah. If were there any windows in the classroom? Yes, but they're 10 feet tall. Well, then why didn't you drive a unit through the gate? And then I stand there and I find my smallest guy and I go, dude, climb up and stand on my shoulders.
Yep.
Support that window. Or just, hey, listen, dude, I'm going to throw you through. We can't be here for an hour. Right? Kids are bleeding out. There was a shooting in Ventura, California. It's called the borderline shooting. And I went through the homicide investigators briefing on that. Fast forward, a guy walks in there. He was a saw gunner in Afghanistan, lost his mind, killed a security guard right in the beginning. Now, things we need to think about. He is better than us. The Vegas shooter, pre-planning, like you had mentioned, we're reactive. And I'll send you the after action on that too. Shoots the security guard. He goes into an office which directly to the right of the building. That's where all surveillance cameras are at. Now,
guys thinking through this thing.
Now he has like ISR. He's sitting there. He looks at, he lights military grade smoke, pops it at the hatch, the door.
Yeah.
Goes back into his room. No cops are coming. And then he walks around. He's executing people.
Wow.
This guy's so brutal. When he's executing people after he shoots, some people he shoots, he doesn't kill him. He takes the Glock barrel while it's still burning and he burns them in the face.
Wow.
So, folks, nobody's coming for it.
Right. And you can't reason with this type of evil. This type of evil exists. It's pitch black. There's no logic.
You hit the nail on the head. They took the audio from the dispatch to the surveillance cameras. He shot one guy who's moaning, dials 911, takes his phone, puts it next to the guy, and he takes a SOG knife and he stabs him in the throat. Wow. And you watch this and you hear this. And you go, now, they waited outside 40-something minutes. When Ventura gave the brief, the first slide was, this is Sergeant John Smith. John Smith failed to make entry. John Smith has since been retrained and failed to meet the standards of the Ventura County Sheriffs. Boom, next guy. This is Deputy Bobby Smith. Bobby Smith was armed and he fled and he ran and he was armed with this handgun. Boom. Ventura went out there and laid out their own. Never heard it.
I can respect it.
Yes. And we were like this.
Okay.
And I get the fog of war on this one. Hey, we went in there. But if it's, we talk about it at work, you have to have initiative. Now, if I don't want initiative, I can hide outside the classroom and say, well, we can't get in. But you're not trying.
You can get in. You can get in. You can get in.
We go to the office and get the key.
Yeah. Now, do you think this has something to do with, I feel like law enforcement's kind of, and I know we're going way over time, but we're
chop it as you will, man. Chop it as you will.
Do you think this has to do with I feel like there's been a push in another direction for kind of a different type of avatar for hiring, like less veterans, less kind of a little 100%. Bit more of a,
100%. You need all type of officers, right? But what I need is a person that's willing to be violent on a drop of a hat. Yeah. But if they're trained, and here's the key, the majority of these shootings that are bad shootings that you see police officers commit, I want you to look at the officer, and you can't judge a book by his cover. Sometimes you can.
Right.
Or also look at his background. What type of training does he have? Well, he went to the academy 10 years ago. But when was the last time he went to an outside of his agency's shooting package?
Right.
I don't need my beer drinking buddy to qualify me. I need to go around a bunch of strangers that are going to make me nervous,
Right.
And push me. I need to fly out of state to do some training.
Yep.
It's only your life.
Yeah.
So because they're not confident in their ability, they're not competent in their ability to either de-escalate or to go straight to 100% and it's over.
Right.
That's and we're not hiring. We're looking for the softer, gentler. I can take a hard officer, whether it be male or female, and train them down.
Right.
I cannot make a person who's genetically predisposed to be softer. So I can't make them braver. Will never happen.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, and that was the problem we ran into, even in the Marine Corps getting ready to go to war. We'd have some recruits that we would get, and they were just, we'd give them a call sign like Rubber Chicken or Angel Baby, Angel Kisses. And I mean, the Spartans did it. The battery of training that they would go through in the fleet was completely different. You'd get your meat eaters and they'd be savages. And then we'd get the soft guys. And I mean, it was like they just went to an MMA camp until they got to combat. They were like they were just like, and then we just had to bring them into the tribe, but you can't do that, and we all got in trouble and the Marine Corps got restructured and you can't put your hands on recruits on new Marines anymore, but this is peacetime, right? So I completely understand that. And it's, I guess, for all the professional protectors, private security guys, law enforcement guys, this is one of the reasons why we started with hard skills intensives, where we get these guys up at 6:30 a.m. and we hammer until 10:30 at night on hard skills. They walk away from this course and they're like, this changed my life. I'm like, this is more than just a job. This is a lifestyle, as a calling. People are dependent on us. We have to be able to do the deed. And, because this is what it can all ultimately come down to, is whether you will have the intestinal fortitude to be able to do what needs to be done and not fail everyone. And now I think that we zoom out, and it's not even just for professional protectors. The civilian has a choice. Everyone has a choice, more of a choice for the civilian, but how do you want to be that person? Personal protection is the one skill that allows you to keep and maintain everything you love in your life. Whether we're doing it for you, gentlemen are out there on that wall wearing blue, making sure that the enemy stays at bay or green, or you as a father may have to defend your home, or defend your family while you're out at 7-Eleven, on any given day. So, man, this is awesome. Favorite quote, mantra, saying?
The day chooses you.
The day chooses you. Yeah, that's been the theme, good habit or just lifestyle change people should look at that maybe makes you a better human or a better protector.
Be uncomfortable most of the time.
Yeah, as much as you can. That's where the magic is. That's where the adaptation reflex gets triggered,
Which translates to embrace the suck.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I love it. You're up at 3 a.m., man. You've challenged me. I'm a 4 a.m. guy.
Well, it works because that's where my shift is. And
okay.
So you guys watch. Is it comfortable?
No. It's like getting punched in the face.
I love it when it's over.
Yes.
Love that.
What about, how would you, what's it all for? How would you like to be remembered, sir?
And there it goes. Mike's going to go to Burger King and buy a crown and cover it in aluminum foil and stand on the corner and be a king of his own fiefdom.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of great sayings, right? Hey, live your eulogy, not your resume. But
yeah.
You better pack your resume and, to have some standing.
Mm-hmm.
That I've made the men and women under my charge better leaders, not make them better because it's easy to make, but make them better leaders so then they understand, hey, you have an obligation. You have to burn the midnight oil, which means you need the PT.
Yeah.
The key is the easiest thing you can do as a professional protector, as a human being that's walking the streets, just know when that incident hits, adrenaline's going to rock your body. And if you're gassed out in 30 seconds,
casualty.
I'm not saying you got to go do a WOD, but So what do I want to be known for? Be nice to people, man.
Yeah.
Just be nice. Life is good, and you can make friends. 30-second snippet.
Yep.
I'm at this medical class in San Diego. I know no one. I'm with another sergeant major in the Marine Corps.
Wow.
There's this guy. He's blasted out, cowboy boots on. I give him my name. Hey, Mike Gonzalez. They really don't care. That's all right.
Yeah.
30 seconds into it, he goes, hey, Mikey, come over here with this wound packing. I don't know this cat, right? I don't know this guy. I'm in a tough guy school that looks like a tough guy school, and there's all tough guys.
Everyone's sniffing each other's butts and doing the thing.
Yeah, man. I look at this cat. I'm thinking, dude, you don't know me.
Yeah.
But just that, hey, Mikey. So I start helping him, and then I look at him. I say, do I know you, man? He goes, no. I'm like, well, shit, I love you already, dude.
Yeah, we're brothers now.
Are pure savage.
Yeah.
And then, so these guys are world-class martial artists. And for you guys, at the end of the day, we have an FTX, right? We got to run. There's active shooter and all that.
Got to work it together.
This guy took one of the leads because it's the same thing. He's a thinker because he's a fighter, because he's in shape.
Yep.
Wasn't gassed. So at the end, be nice to people and train.
Yeah.
Be ready. The day chooses you.
Be ready. The day chooses you. Boom. That's outstanding. Wow. What a good conversation. It's been an honor and a privilege.
Yeah, man.
Michael, thank you so much for sharing this stuff with us. I think there's so many takeaways, man. We could sit here and kick this back and forth. Looking forward to linking up with you and doing some good training as well. Thank you so much for everything, for who you are, and what comes out of who you are and who you've trained to be. A lot of people, I feel like, have been able to depend on you, and even when they didn't know they were going to need you. So that stuff's ultra meaningful. So it's been an honor and a privilege, sir. Thank you so much for this conversation. Sacred stuff.
This is my MCK. There are many like it, but this one is mine. If you've got a firearm sitting around, a pistol that you are not doing anything with, get an MCK. They make them for every single model. If you want a micro conversion kit that will turn your handgun into a force multiplier, get one, man. They are ultra affordable. CAA, MCK, micro conversion kits are changing the game, y'all. So if you don't have one, you need to get one. Get one. Your women, children, people that are less physically potent will be able to fire your firearm to farther distances with more accuracy. You will be able to fire your firearm to farther distances with more accuracy. I want to get one of these into the hands of 100,000 more protectors this year, because ultimately we are only as good as the nation is only as good as its protection. Your home is only as safe and as good as your ability to protect it. MCK, go get one. Drop your handgun in, take it to the next level. Out. Boom.
Boom. Yo, what up? I hope you guys really enjoyed that episode. Hey, listen, in order to get more out of the brand, I want to encourage you to go join us on our social media platforms and join us at protectornation.com. We post different types of content on our different platforms at different times. You'll get blog posts, you'll get videos, you'll get real world combat engagements and things like that. So stay plugged in order to get the most out of the brand. In order to support us, also go to protectornation.com and buy something, or join forces with me on Patreon. You'll scroll down the homepage and you'll see the link. Anything you can give counts. Think about whatever you would lose in your cushions or like spend on McDonald's this month, $5 a month, whatever it is. That helps us make the world a better place by making good people dangerous. Anyways, this is Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade, and I'll see you on the next piece of content, whether it's a video or podcast. Out.